spring break flight leaves tomorrow, and I will be at the airport pretty much the entire day. So come along with me to read at the airport. All right, good morning. We are headed to the airport right now. My flight was supposed to leave at 7 in the morning, but it got canceled, and I am now headed to the airport to sit until 6 o'clock at night. And I know that sounds crazy, but paying for a Uber to the airport in Atlanta is usually like $60, and I just don't have that, nor do I want to pay that. So we are just gonna go ahead and drop me off really early. I'm gonna hang out at the airport all day, get some work done, and get some reading done. So I'm just gonna go ahead and bring you guys along with me for my entire trip. I am visiting my best friend in Texas because she just had a baby, and I have not gotten to visit in a very long time, much less overnight. So I'm gonna be there for about 4 days. This is your friendly reminder that you can always bring your cup through security and just get ice and water after the checkpoint. All right, so right now I'm waiting at my gate. I'm here super early, obviously, but I'm glad because it's the first day of spring break up here, and security was crazy. So I got through security in about an hour and a half, and I just grabbed a quick breakfast and ate that. So it's about 9 o'clock right now. So I have about 6 hours until my first flight. I have 2 books that I'm like in the middle of and just haven't finished. So I'm reading Beautiful Ugly by Feeney. And this is one of my book of the month books that I kind of avoided for a while. And I finally have the audiobook and the Kindle download. So I'm going to go ahead and read through that. It is so good so far. I'll let you know how it ends. Then I also have The Wishing Game, which I started forever ago, and it just did not capture my attention. So I'm going to see if today, with like no distractions, I can just dive into it and see if it catches me. If not, I may have to DNF it. If you finished it, let me know what you think about it. Maybe try to sway my opinion. But yeah, I've got 2 books to read and a little bit of schoolwork that I can get done. So I'm just going to go ahead and chill for the next 6 hours. Also, while I have you, I have a nail check. These are so cute, and I always send an emoji to kind of like go with my nail design whenever I pay my nail lady. And I didn't have anything, and so I sent her Easter egg island heads because I was like, I don't know, girl, they're giving Easter. At the 80% left, so like 45 minutes left. This book is like trippy because it's not necessarily unreliable narrator. It's just more so the narrator himself doesn't trust his own judgment because he's like seeing things that are not making sense. He's hearing things that aren't making sense, and just all around he's confused. So it kind of makes you confused throughout the book. But basically the premise of this is that one day he gets a phone call and he's talking to his wife, and she says there's a woman in the middle of the road. She gets out of her car, and then she goes missing. So it kind of jumps back and forth from his perspective of after she goes missing to her perspective a week before she goes missing. And he ends up on this island, like on a writer's, basically like a writing retreat, because he's having issues writing after she goes missing, and he starts seeing her everywhere. So the people on the island are just weird, and I don't really understand what's happening. And with only 45 minutes left, I know I'm getting close. But it's like every single chapter, once I got past that 75% mark, or even that 60% mark, every single chapter has a new plot twist. And it's really good. One thing I really love about this book is that every single chapter is named after like a different oxymoron, and then they align with what's going on in the chapter. So this one that I'm about to start is Ill Health. The title of the book is Beautiful Ugly, and that's kind of like comes into play later on in the book. So I'm really enjoying this. This is one of the best thrillers I've ever read, and I'm really hoping the ending lives up to it. So of course I should have read it before. Book of the month never fails me, but I'm gonna go ahead and finish this one up, and hopefully we have a 5-star book.
No man is an island, but a woman can be if she needs to be.
Okay, I'm just taking a little bit of a walk to get my legs moving because I've been sitting down for an hour. 5 stars, 5 stars. That has got to be one of the best reading experiences I've ever had. Definition of plot twist after plot twist after plot twist. And you know what? Sometimes like things go right over my head. So I think something's amazing and everyone else hates it because it was so predictable. But no, there's perks to being stupid. I absolutely loved it so much. I definitely was not expecting what was coming. So overall, amazing. I wish I could read it again. It's one of those books that if I lose my memory, that's what I'm going towards. That and Manacled. Let's get things straight. But yeah, if you haven't read it and you enjoy thrillers, I definitely recommend Beautiful Ugly. It's 11:11. Make a wish. Okay, so because it's 11:11, that means I have about 4 hours until we start boarding, and I'm just kind of sitting here. I'm in an empty gate right now because mine is, obviously I'm not leaving for a while, so they have a flight leaving toward Orlando. I got out of the way. I finished that book and it like totally messed with my mind in the best way. So I'm just sitting like processing it, and I don't really want to start my next one yet. I kind of want to save it for when I'm on the plane. I am right across from one of the airport bookstores, so I kind of want to go peek in and see if there's anything worth grabbing. I'm gonna go ahead and just sit for a little bit and cool off because it's really hot in here, and then I can go check out the bookstore and see if there's anything good. Oh my god, you know what I have heard? I have heard a lot of authors, like if they're flying through an airport, will go through and sign their books. It's kind of like a surprise. I highly doubt any of them are signed, but it's always good to check. So it's something fun. I'm just sitting here eating my cherries, and something is like festering in my head about this book. Because in the book, he talks about like finally publishing his book, right? But because he's like, okay, I'm gonna have to spoil it a little bit here. He's in a bad situation, right? And so he's like trying to ask his readers for help without letting his publisher know. He said, when I publish this book, I'm gonna make sure, like, if someone's paying attention, then they'll notice that the first word in every chapter gives me a message. And so I kind of want to go and check, like, the first word of every chapter. If there's nothing there, I'm going to be extremely disappointed. But I kind of feel like, based on how like strategic this author is, there has to be something to check, and we'll see if there's like any secret messages. That just made this book even better, and I already rated it 5 stars. Like, I just love when you can tell an author loves their craft, and Alice Feeney loves their craft. Like, she loves her craft, and if I were to ever write a book, this is the kind of author I want to be. Like, everything is intentional, and everything connects, and every tiny little thing has meaning. I love it so much. So, basically, any book I read for the next 2 weeks is going to suck. Man. Well, at least I got Charlie's. Okay, right now I have like an hour and a half until we actually start boarding. I have just been wasting time. Part of me regrets coming so early because I'm literally sitting here doing nothing. But part of me also thinks I can do it, so it's fine. I've basically just been wasting time since I finished my last book. So I'm going to go ahead and move into my second book, which I'm already like 30% of the way through. And this is The Wishing Game. I have not been loving this book, but I think it's good. It's just not like grabbing my attention in any way. So I'm hoping that if I just devote, dedicated time to it, maybe I'll like it a little bit more. I've been just reading it at night, and it's kind of just been like a side book for me. So I think that's why it's not been getting the love that it may truly well deserve. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started on that, and I'm gonna see if I can download maybe one more just in case I finish that on the flight. That way I have something else as a backup. This is such a short flight. I highly doubt I will, but I don't want to be put in a situation where I don't have anything to read. So the main premise so far is basically this girl is working to become a teacher, and she has this one student that she's trying to adopt because he is in the foster care system and all of that. So she's trying to jump through the hoops to make that happen, but of course she's not a teacher yet, and even if she was, teachers make the money, so she doesn't have the financial means to support him. So she has a roommate that obviously is not going to work and all these other things, so she's just trying to make the situation happen. But they're both obsessed with the same book series, and so they both read it together, and he's like 6, okay? But this author, he lives on an island, and it's basically like the #1 selling series, essentially, and it's all about this island, and the author puts out this statement saying that he's wrote the long-awaited book, but only one copy of it, and that it's only available to anyone who can figure out this riddle. So then this riddle goes viral, and everyone's trying to figure it out, and of course, it's kind of giving you the inkling that she knows. I have a little bit more that I already know, but I don't want to spoil it for anyone who's trying to read it, so that's where I'm at right now. It says that I have just under 4 hours in the book, but that was without the audiobook. So once I turn on the audiobook, that'll probably get cut in half, and hopefully I can finish it on this flight.
Hi, welcome to Chili's.
Okay, I am currently in Dallas. I'm about to board to take my second flight. I started where the Crawdads sing on the last flight, so that's the one I'm going to go ahead and keep reading on this one. It's pretty good so far. I feel like it's going to be sad, so I'm kind of nervous because I don't want to cry on the plane. So if it gets too sad, I'll just put it away. It's a really short flight, so by no means am I going to finish, but that's what I'm reading right now because I tried to read The Wishing Game. I don't know if you can hear me at all. I tried to read The Wishing Game, and it said like it wasn't downloaded, the audiobook, on my phone, so I switched to Where the Crawdads Sing. So I'll let you know what I think. Okay, I just got off the plane and I'm in Amarillo, and I packed shorts. I packed shorts for this trip, like a lot of shorts. Snowing, so I'm literally shivering and hoping that it gets better.
Okay, it is time to head home. So I am at the Amarillo airport, and this airport is so tiny that I walked straight through security. And I went ahead and tried to grab myself a coffee. That way I could wake myself up a bit. Spoiler alert, this did nothing. That's what I get for buying vending machine coffee. I'm gonna go ahead and give you a tour of the Amarillo airport. That's the entire thing. Yes, that's all of it.
Good morning. Yes, I am back at the airport. It has been a few days. I went and enjoyed my vacation without recording, spent time with my loved ones, and I'm back, ready to fly home. So apparently this is going to be an airport video. You're welcome. I went ahead and finished another book while I was on my trip. So I finished Where the Crawdads Sing. And I'm actually really mad that I didn't finish this prior to. Like, I feel like everybody talked about how amazing it was, and I just ignored it for too long. So I'm really, really glad that I finally finished it. I thought that it was really, really well written. I did rate it 3.5 stars though, simply because of the fact that there were certain parts I wanted more from and certain parts I wanted less of. Like, just kind of like where we spent time on things was a little interesting to me, but I love all the little subplots and things going on. It was just really, really good. A lot of character development, which was amazing. After finishing it, we did go ahead and watch the movie, which I thought they did a good job of, and Again, I don't know how I've gone this long without reading it or watching it. So if you've already seen it or read the book, let me know your thoughts. Right now it is 5 in the morning. My flight leaves in like an hour and a half. I got here way early because I was kind of panicky, but this is like the smallest airport I've ever seen. I can see all walls. So I'm gonna just go ahead and get my next book set up. I think I am gonna go ahead and finish The Wishing Game. I'm not loving it, but I'm determined not to DNF it because I know some people say it's amazing. So I'm gonna give it its full potential shot. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and enjoy my gas station muffin and my automatic barista coffee and go ahead and get started on the book.
Yes, I am home. No, I did not film anything on my last 2 flights. No, I did not read anything on my last 2 flights. Yeah. So I am home. I immediately fell asleep on that first flight, and then I got to the second flight and I was gonna try and read. Fell asleep on that one too. So it is what it is. I was sleeping so hard that I missed out on the free snacks and drink. And if you know anything about me, I will wake up at 5 in the morning for a free breakfast at a hotel. Like, free is my language. So I was tired. The night before I left my trip, my best friend and I stayed up pretty much the entire night that we weren't late getting me to my flight. And I was just overly exhausted. I just got home. I think I'm gonna go back to sleep now. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. We'll talk about what I did finish and what I did not finish. All right, throughout my trip, I had a total of 4 flights to read on and a ton of time spent at the airport. So within that time, I finished Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney, 5 stars. I also, once again, tried to read The Wishing Game by Meg Shaffer, put it down for a little while and jumped into Where the Crawdads Sing. I tried again to read The Wishing Game by Meg Shaffer, and I am going to say it. I never say it, but I'm going to say it. This is a DNF. If you loved this book, please let me know so that I know if I'm making a huge mistake. I never DNF anything, but I think I'm giving up on this one. I've been reading it for about 2 months. I pick it up, I read a couple pages, and then I put it down. I'm not very far into it. I know that's such a lazy move. I'm just not enjoying it, and it doesn't seem like it's gonna be a book worth reading for me. So let me know if that's a mistake. But overall, in this airport reading vlog, I read 2 total books. I was able to watch the movie for the book that I finished on the trip as well. So overall, it was a successful time at the airport. So for my first flight, I arrived at the airport at 7:30 in the morning, Atlanta time. And I did not arrive in Amarillo until 10:15 at night, which is 9 p.m. Atlanta time. So this was a 14-hour travel day. Do I ever want to do that again? No. But it made for great reading, and I got a lot of good food. Overall, very successful trip. Let me know in the comments what you're reading now and what I should read next. I'll see you next time on Books with Beck. I'm going to sleep. Good night. Love you. Bye.
Book Husband here. Like and subscribe.